Jesus is not interested in settling a dispute between two brothers, and the response he gave is not what the man was expecting. We've all heard of stories of how property and riches have destroyed relationships and families. Instead of dividing the inheritance, he shows them how it is dividing them. There was a story told of a wealthy landowner. He had a stately mansion overlooking a beautiful valley, but there was a basic emptiness in his life. He had no religious beliefs. He lived alone and was possessed by his possessions. In the gate lodge, at the entrance to his estate, lived John, his farm manager. John was a man of simple faith and deep religious commitments. He was a regular churchgoer with his family, and the Lord's presence was a reality in his home. And often at night, the landowner noticed John's family on their knees in prayer. One morning, the landowner was looking out on the valley. He was gazing at a beautiful scene. He was saying to himself, "It is all mine," when he hears the doorbell ringing. And going to the door, he found John on the doorstep. "What's the matter, John?" he asked. John looked embarrassed. "Sir, could I have a word with you?" "Sir," said John hesitantly, "last night I had a dream, and in it the Lord told me the richest man in the valley would die tonight at midnight. I felt you should know." The landowner dismissed him, but John's words kept bothering him. So much, at 11 o'clock in the morning, he took his car and went to the doctor for a checkup. The doctor examined him and pronounced him as fit as a fiddle, and he said, "I give you another 20 years. The landowner was relieved, but a lingering doubt caused him to invite the doctor to his home that evening. They enjoyed a meal together, and shortly after 11:30 p.m, the doctor got up to go home, but the landowner persuaded him to remain on. Eventually, midnight passed. The landowner was still in the land of the living. He saw the doctor to the door, and he made his ways upstairs, muttering to himself, "Silly old John and his dreams." No sooner was he in bed, and he heard the doorbell ringing. And going down, he found a grief-stricken girl at the door whom he recognized as John's teenage daughter. "Sir," she said, looking at him through her tears, "Ma'am sent me to tell you that Daddy died suddenly at midnight." The landowner froze. It was suddenly clear who was the richest man in the valley. Riches had isolated the landowner. He does not share his riches with others. He is caught up in himself. The riches of John, his values helped him to relate and think of God, to relate to others, and above all, his family. The wisdom of Jesus says, a man's life is not made secure by what he owns, even when he has more than he needs. We have the wisdom of the old people who say, there's no pockets in a shroud, and we cannot bring our wealth with us, or a hearse does not stop at a bank on the way to a funeral. The rich fool is asked, this night your soul will be asked for, and this hoard of yours, whose will it be then? How many have made a mistake, and someone who has not toiled for it at all will enjoy it. We all can be tempted to believe in the security of wealth, whether we're rich or poor. Faith in wealth crowds out God. We are rich in the sight of God in not what we own or what we've achieved, but what we are. May we take the wisdom of Jesus to heart. Jesus, help me to be content with my life. Help me to trust in your loving care every step of the way and become a new creation in you. In that creation, we'll be rich in the sight of God by giving and sharing what we have received.